Start now? Okay. This is Annie and this is...
Nicci.
Yes. So you may think that she looks very similar to the other person that I'm normally sharing this amazing Mom of a Pod with, but this is our very own Nicci Micco, who is our VP of Content and Partnerships.
Right.
Our other Nicci is down in Boston for a business activity, and so I have a special guest, but they didn't want to push me too hard, so they gave me a person with the same name so that I wouldn't mess it up too much on this little podcast today. So
I have C's in my name. I also have 2 kids, and they're older than Nicci's kids. They're 8 and 10, and they're boys, and I breastfed both of them. Breastfed, pumped, the whole shebang. Some things have changed and some things haven't.
Yeah,
so we can talk about that.
Nicci and I are here to give the usual perspective of the veteran mom and the newbie mom, talking breastfeeding and pumping challenges from our very own Mom of a Pod here in our headquarters in Burlington, Vermont, where I pumped for a solid year in order to give my little girl some breast milk every day. And then Nicci, though, 8 and 10 years ago, there was no Mom of a. So we're here to talk about what the difference is, me versus Nicci, how much has changed, how little has changed. And we'd love if you all can engage both Instagram and Facebook. Let us know what your biggest breastfeeding and pumping challenges were. Did you pump? Did you only breastfeed? Did you make your goal? Did you not hit your goal? Was it work?
Yep.
Was it colleagues? Was it just your baby? What was it? Let us know. We'd love to hear.
We want to hear here in our Facebook Live, and we've also created a really formal way for you to share with us your experiences with breastfeeding in all iterations, baby on the breast, pumping, the combination of those two in our new survey, which you can find at momavit.com. And I'm also here to give a sneak peek of some preliminary results. So we've already had about 3,800 moms take the survey.
Thank you guys. That's so exciting.
Awesome.
We always knew we had such an incredibly engaged mama audience,
Yes.
but this type of data to actually have at our fingertips for you guys to be not only using our pods and telling us we were the oasis in the desert, but fulfilling this or filling out this survey and giving us concrete numbers for us to speak to is awesome.
Yeah,
Super
and it will
helpful.
help us to create more content, more resources for you, which is one of the reasons, big reasons I came here. We want to support you with physical pods and support you with content like this that can help you. So tell us everything.
And we always have little, thank yous for joining here on our Facebook Live and Instagram Live, for joining in and commenting, letting us know your struggles. We have our ever adorable Mom of a onesies, comes in multiple colors and sizes, so we can fit your babe or a friend's babe or your grandkid or whomever it is. And then also we have a prize if you fill out the survey and get selected. So we have a specific winner for the survey, so you have to enter and complete it to be entered for that.
A $100 Zappos gift card.
Super
Buy
exciting.
whatever you want.
Seriously.
For
Yeah,
yourself.
pretty much. Yeah. For yourself. You may not buy something for your children.
Nothing for your baby.
No Crocs. I'm just kidding. They're awesome. Just, I haven't actually broken that threshold yet. I've lived in Vermont for 4 years and I don't own Crocs. I feel like that's it.
I did own a pair of Crocs. My husband made me get rid of them.
Oh my God! Look at this awesome engagement. Okay, so hi Raquel, how are ya? And we've got Heather right off the bat, an exclusive pumper, which at times feels harder than actual breastfeeding. At times, that is just like I
got
power
warm,
to you,
warm,
Heather.
fuzzy feelings.
Yeah,
about
exactly.
sitting
Everywhere
with
you
my
go,
baby.
my pump
With
comes
my pump.
along, and I always have to figure out where outlets are. And more times than not, I end up having to pump in the car. And actually, Heather, that's so on point because Nicci does have awesome data from our survey.
Little preliminary sneak peek here. 20% of moms who said that they pumped said that they pumped in their car. And what is interesting to me is that we have, and you'll see if you've taken the survey or you are going to take the survey, ranking satisfaction with all the different places that you've pumped. The car, people didn't love it, but they were like,
Didn't hate it.
Drive it. And that's really sad that we're feeling that good about the car. 30% of moms who pumped in bathrooms too.
Oh,
so
God, yeah.
that is
Well,
not,
I guess that's the thing is, at Mom of I say we have such a low bar to rise from. So when someone writes in and says, you were the oasis in the desert, it was amazing. This was so much better than pumping in a bathroom. I'm like, oh my God, anything.
Yeah.
Your car is better than pumping in a bathroom in some respects.
Yeah.
I've definitely done that. I did that. Had work, and then we had an after-work event.
Yeah.
Put the pump on, drove. It was actually,
I pumped
Vermont
a
winter.
lot in the car.
Yeah. So it was like pitch black at 4:30, and the lights of the pump were like shining underneath my face as I was driving in the car. It did not feel safe. And we've got Sarah who joined us. Kate, let us know, what were your pumping struggles? What have you had any issues with? Heather, all the time. Yeah, you should all the time think that pumping exclusively is hard. We have a coworker with us who did the same. It is another struggle. It's one of the things I think is you finish breastfeeding, you're carrying your baby around everywhere. Also, if you exclusively to the boob breastfeed with your baby, but then you don't have to clean anything afterwards.
Yeah.
That's like, you don't have to store something. You don't have to remember a freezer pack. You don't have to find a sink. Like, that is, you did it, you're done, you get to move on. And that to me is a huge thing. And that's why pumping in your car, pumping in a bathroom, like, you don't get the opportunity to be like, now I can conveniently unscrew these.
Yeah.
So many moms mention the balancing game that comes with a bathroom sink of like, okay, I'm gonna precariously put this bottle on the edge of the sink, and this topples over and pours into that sink. It's the most depressing thing in the world. So
and one other finding that I found to be really interesting is a lot of people are given lactation spaces at work to pump in, but sometimes it's really far away. Sometimes there isn't enough spaces for the number of women who need the spaces. And I will say, with my first son, I had a private office. I shut the door. It was super easy. I could just keep working. Another sneak peek. I love data. 71% of moms so far say that they like to multitask at least some of the time. I totally
100%.
worked every time I was pumping, and that was really easy when I was very, very lucky to have my own space. And then with my second guy, I was doing more consulting, so I would come into the office once in a while, and I shared an open room with a colleague friend, and we sat and pumped together.
I love that. I love that image. Like, two women getting the work done, doing it on their own schedules, just like, we're both in it.
We're
Let's
here.
do this.
But I mean, that's not everybody wants to do that, and not that I would necessarily choose to do that, but it's, so I think,
Nicci and I had babies like 2 days after each other, pumped for an entire year together in this office, and never did it sitting across.
So
and we've talked about it so many times.
So there are laws that say you need to offer a space, but what that space is and how many spaces per women. So, just kind of raising awareness, sharing stories about what you're dealing with, to get that conversation rolling, I think is just so important.
Yeah, we've got Jillian Roth, who says, I was back at work at 2 months postpartum and then 5 weeks with her second. I mean, that's a whole other story, is obviously pumping breastfeeding is so challenging given our lack of parental leave.
And that time frame, they're just
5 weeks.
Cluster
Data, 25% of women in America go back to work within 10 days of giving birth. So 5 weeks for some women would seem like a godsend, which is just mind-blowing. But she said, I pumped all over the planet. Literally at my desk was very common, or in taxis, or in my seat on the plane. I've done that too. And I like also, Jillian said, I use my nursing cover more for pumping than I did for nursing. 100%. On the plane, I would have that thing over, just like manual pump or something like that, to just, I would sit, I remember, going on vacation, and I would sit with my girlfriends and throw the cover over so I could have a glass of wine, and sit with the night after my baby went to sleep. Drop it on my baby's head. A good little rain guard.
I dumped a nice coffee on my baby's head once. So.
And we've got one mama who's pumping while watching this. So there's the
multitasking. Yes.
This is so much more fun than sending emails.
Very good use of your time.
You know what I used to do? I know, it's not. It's hard. I used to.
Listen, we want to hear your comments.
I used to do the crossword. That's like such a nerdy thing that Nicci K would make a lot of fun for. But it was like a way to zone out my brain. It felt like 5 minutes maybe to myself of the 20 minutes it would take me to pump or something. But it also just let me kind of forget the milking machine that was attached to me. That was, for me, some moms like need to zone in on it, and like to get let down to happen. For me, I needed to forget that I was attached to it, to like let my boobs just go, because with my baby it was never like I was staring at my breast being like, please feed the baby. It was just like, okay, I don't have to think about it. And pumping needed to be that for me too.
And by no means do we intend to convey that we think everybody should be multitasking while they're pumping. Like, it's physiologically, we're not probably really supposed to do
Yeah. We have a couple moms that say I pump to store, so that's a lot of, just qualitatively from moms saying that, like, before they even went back to work, they were pumping in order to build up that supply, because there's so much anxiety around, is your supply going to drop, are you going to have enough, etc. And then Carolyn says props to all the moms who pump while at work. It's a whole other level of challenge, because every mom can pump regardless of working or not. If you want to have someone else in your family feed the baby, if you want to be able to go out for a few hours to a workout class or go on a trip or anything, or if you're, consulting, freelancing, you don't have to have a physical office to need to pump.
Yeah, and my husband loved to feed the baby, so pumping allowed him to do a bottle a day or every once in a while.
And Elizabeth says she's been pumping exclusively since day one. Where was this a year ago? Today is your daughter's first birthday. That's so exciting. And Jillian says happy birthday baby Bender. That's so exciting. Weaning both off breast milk this week. That's super exciting. Congratulations. That's exactly what I did with baby Avery.
Oh wait, did we announce a new baby?
We didn't! We don't have a new baby! We don't have a new baby. We have 0 babies between us two. We have 3 between us, but none between us.
Big babies.
But yes, our amazing
product director.
I was like, I'm gonna get his title wrong. We've hired many people in the past 6 months, but Ben's amazing, and he and his wife just had their second baby. They have an older girl, Reese,
just turned 3,
and they just had baby boy Silas 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, so that's really
he's out on paternity leave, as he should be right now. So he is home with baby Silas.
Yay!
Yes, super exciting.
Family. Welcome to the family.
And we have also pumping while watching Lisa. This is incredible. I love the multitasking that's happening.
Lisa knows the office that I worked at.
There we go. Hi, Lisa. Hi, friend. So any expert tips for pumping more milk? So
I had a supply challenge with my first guy. He was born 6 weeks early, so I don't know if that had to do with it or my body just wasn't as primed, and so it was always a sort of touch and go situation. So I did an extra pump every day to sort of have a little bit of a supply, because that last, like, getting from work to Julian was always like, sometimes my husband would call me and I hear him screaming in the background. I'm like, I'm on Route 7, so close.
And you can hear, and then your milk just starts letting down, and you can hear the cries.
So my lactation consultant and friends suggested, like, doing a pump right after, or the hour after feeding. So I did extra pumps to try to have a little bit of mind space and padding there.
Yeah, I would, same thing. I woke up in the morning before Avery would to do a first pump, because I always felt like I woke up and I was the most full, and if I could pump and then nurse her, that would be big for me. And then I would have that, like, ounces to go, and that would almost be like what I could send her to daycare with, and felt strong about that. Tons of moms, gosh, we've had so many amazing companies send us incredible supplements or recipes for mother's milk tea, or fenugreek bars, brewer's yeast, things like that, oats. Nicci, the other Nicci K, swears by, like, having oatmeal and fenugreek every day. That was big for her, because she had supply issues with her first baby, Asher, but was fine with Addie. But yeah.
And I think just the stress factor, the sick, like, if you're a little under the weather, if you're not hydrated, like, those things, I felt like I definitely could see variations. And then another tip I got from my lactation consultant, who I really loved, was just, my babies both went to a daycare with super caring, awesome teachers. But just really sort of troubleshooting with them, like, is this enough milk? Like, why are you giving him that next bottle? Right. Is it because he's fussy? Like, sort of working with them and just being direct and clear about, like, if he had enough milk on the weekend, like, just kind of understanding.
Right. No, I love that. That's super smart. And we, Jillian mentioned this, but I was going to say my sister did the same thing. They call them, like, pumping power hours, where you do, like, 10 minutes on, 10 minutes off, 10 minutes on, 10 minutes off, which imitates the cluster feeding of a newborn, which can inspire more milk. Some people have success, but some don't. So that's another huge tip, but I agree. Like, I've had friends who are just like, why don't we just try skipping that bottle and see what he does, and then he'd be fine.
Yeah.
And so then that was an extra 4 ounces to go in the fridge.
Yeah.
Which I think is huge. But yeah, I think try, to get that supply up using these various techniques, talking to your friends. Lactation consultants, I think, are incredible. There's a reason there's international board certified lactation consultants, and it takes, you have to be a nurse and then get that level of certification. It's a serious business. So definitely go to the experts on that. Qualitative feedback from your friends, asking them, but then see if your pediatrician, my pediatrician, has numbers, available to any new mom of local LCs that they can call, which I think is huge. And Shirley says, I have pumped 2 extra pumps per day for my little one, plus drinking lots of water. So adding in extra pumps a day. Tiffany, power pumping is that 10 minutes on, 10 minutes off for an hour straight. So if you remember when that baby first came out and it felt like they would just suck and then fall asleep and then suck and then fall asleep.
And then giving yourself huge props for doing that.
Yeah, seriously.
You're working really hard.
Seriously. And also set it up in front of some awesome show on Netflix or something like that. Maybe throw some Queer Eye on, something that's just going to be a lovely
so much TV during that first 12 months of my babies. Really strange selections like Criminal Minds, things you should not watch when you are a mom. Because it freak you out about the safety of your child.
I almost watched Handmaid's Tale in the first 6 weeks, and one of my friends was like, I will come over and disconnect your television if you try and watch that show in the fragile state that you're in. And I was like, fair enough.
Okay.
Was a smart idea. Alyssa Rich just said, loves the Mama Val pods in the airport. She's coming back from a business trip, so she's got the whole stash. Another key thing, Alyssa, our website has the amazing tips on what to know going to the TSA. So if anyone's ever given you guff going through there about how could you have this much liquid, know your rights. A lot of moms I know have it bookmarked on the webpage, bookmarked on their phone, so they can just be this is actually the rule that you say that you have to be in compliance with.
And it just brings up, for me, Mama Vals were not around and out there when I was traveling, for work, and I had this colleague who was a mama bear for me. So I was pumping in the bathroom, and she would be protecting the space, and then I went to
she's your center lineman.
Went to a client's office, and she was like, we need a private space for Nicci to pump. She was just, and so having those advocates.
No, we just got this amazing study from I'm gonna forget that. It's University of Florida. I'll make sure to just link it in the notes of the Facebook Live at the end. But that said, women are 25% of women or higher say that they were successful in their breastfeeding goals because colleagues were supportive. So family members, sure, your significant other, fine, but it's actually colleagues maintaining pumping at work are far more important than anyone else's.
And so after you're done with your whole experience, pay it forward. Just
pay it forward.
Be a mama mentor to the next.
No, I sent that to Nicci K with 7,000 hearts. I was it's all because of you.
Yeah.
Totally. So again, thank you to everyone who's commenting. We've got the amazing giveaway here.
And don't forget to take the survey.
Just want to reinsert that $100 Zappos gift card. It is right in the hero image of our Mamava webpage, so you can just find it, click there, super simple.
Yep, it's also under the 4 Mamas drop down, so if you don't want to sit and click.
If you don't want to sit. We have beautiful carousel images. Just hang there. It's cool. It'll increase our time on page. Just kidding. And then we've got a couple other people. Does water really matter? For me, I got really bad food poisoning or some sort of stomach bug at one point, and I was super dehydrated. My supply dropped. I was pumping an ounce every time I would pump it, where I was normally at 4. So for me, water was huge. Staying hydrated was huge. So.
I would say if you're well hydrated, it might not help you to produce more. But I've reported on hydration a lot. Health reporter.
She's got a little experience in nutrition.
And most of us are walking around slightly dehydrated, to moderately dehydrated.
Yes.
So
yes. As someone said, if you feel thirsty, you're already too far dehydrated, right?
Yeah.
All right, so awesome to everyone. Thank you so much for contributing here. And our lucky winner today, I've got for the Mama Val onesie is going to go to Elizabeth Bender. for the first birthday baby. We'd love to be able to get that over to you to celebrate baby girl's birthday. So DM us your information. And thank you to everyone for joining us.
Take our
Instagram and
survey.
Facebook, take the survey. You still got a chance for $100 at Zappos there. And we will see you guys in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Ta-ta for now.